We would find stuff moved around a lot. Stuff wouldn't work. You know, saws and stuff like that wouldn't work sometimes. Things that you know that you put someplace. I mean, I know I left it there. Matter of fact, I would go home and I'd come back because I had a notebook and I forgot it and need to go to the lumberyard. I'd come back, notebook wasn't here.
Wow.
Notebook would be upstairs. Going across the stage, I haven't. Other people have told me that they can hear and they can't make out what they're saying, but it's somebody walking across the stage, more than one person.
Carrying on a conversation.
Carrying on a conversation.
Hey, what's going on, my fellow paratrippers? We are on the road heading back to the town that has actually become one of our top favorite places to go to because of its history, the mystery, and the live oaks and friendly folks, but also there always seems to be a new place that we find that comes up that supposedly has paranormal experiences, and we can't wait to get started because this place embodies the history of the town. It's a good example of what Columbus is, and we can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're glad you are coming along with us. So let's go check out the old 300 Saloon and Venue in the historic, charming town of Columbus, Texas. Here we go. Whoa, hold on. Pardon the interruption. This is future editing me, and while I was going through the footage and editing, we found out that through some technical glitch, the only camera we brought to investigate that night didn't record any audio. We're not going to claim that it's anything paranormal, but no audio, no investigation, which is really unfortunate because it is such a cool place. We experienced a few things, and we were actually able to debunk one of the claims. But we really want you guys to come and check this place out because it is such a cool location, a lot of character, history, mystery, and we really want to share this place with you guys. So this is not going to be one of our normal Paranormal Road Trip episodes. It's going to be a shorter Paranormal Day Trip episode. We have investigated a couple times at this beautiful town. In fact, click on this link here to watch our first episode and get some of the history of the town. That way we can jump right into this location here. So without further ado, let's go check out the old 300 Saloon and Venue in the charming, historic town of Columbus, Texas. Here we go. Okay, and we are here with
Benny Zajce.
And where are we at, Benny?
We're at the old 300 Saloon and Venue in Columbus, Texas, 523 Walnut Street, downtown.
And it is a beautiful venue.
Thank you, thank you.
Tell us a little bit, well, first of all, tell us a bit about what it is today.
Well, today it's a saloon and venue. This building was built in the late 1920s, and it was a theater. I grew up in Columbus, Texas. My family's been here since the mid-1800s,
okay.
So I'm local.
Yeah.
I never knew this was a theater. There was an old man named Mr. Wyndham that had a jewelry store in here, and he used all this for storage. Long story short, the guys that owned the building, friends of mine, we came in, and he said, "What do you want to do with this? Can we make a restaurant? What do you think?" And I'm thinking, people are trying to make Columbus be Mayberry. Why don't I bring Gunsmoke into Mayberry?
Oh yeah.
So I had the idea of an old cowboy bar. So that's the decor we have in here. That's what we're doing. I found a chandelier. We made the curtains on the stage. We built the bar. The bar is actually made out of old doors from like the 1920s. They weren't good for doors anymore. So we built it out of that and made it look like an old cowboy bar. So that was pretty cool.
That is really cool.
The building was built in the late 1920s. It became a theater. There's still a lot of people around there that as kids came to the theater.
Okay.
It burned down in the mid 50s. And then that's when it said vacant.
Okay.
And I have a picture of what it looked like when we got started.
Oh wow.
And I was just gonna show you, that's what, looking at the stage.
Yeah.
That's what we started with. We built the rails to look like old cattle pens because part of Colorado County is cattle and gravel pits and grain and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the rails on the bottom of the bar that you see, that was a gear out of an old bulldozer we found at one of the old gravel pits here, so we cut it to use that.
Wow.
There used to be a horse track here in town back in the 70s, and it burned down several years back. We got all the lumber out of it, and that's what we built the bathrooms out of.
Oh, wow.
So we just tried to incorporate things. There
Local
was
history and...
Oh, yeah. There was an old dance hall right outside of Rosenberg that had shut down, and all the beadboard you see in the foyer, that's where we got it and brought it over here.
Wow.
I have if anybody's ever heard of Sheriff Jim Flournoy from the Chicken Ranch of infamous times,
Really?
I actually have and acquired the ashtray that sat on his desk while he was there, and I have that upstairs in my room. While we were cleaning up in here, we found a dollar bill that was in a glass case, and I'll show it to you in a little while.
Okay.
That's dated 1917, so we assumed that was the first dollar this place ever got.
Okay.
And it's a U.S. legal tender.
Yeah.
It's not a Confederate tender. It's not anything like that. There was a bank here that printed their own money at one time.
Wow.
It's not that.
Yeah.
So we thought that was cool, and we just found it stuck away, so we kept it because it belongs here.
That is really cool. I hear that maybe some weird things are going on in here. There's some
there are some things.
stories
I will tell you, my background, I'm a retired policeman.
Okay.
So I'm a skeptic to begin with. A lot of things can be explained.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, I have been sitting here with my oldest son, who's 35 years old, and he was sitting at the corner of the bar, and a guy walked out, and he said, "Why did he leave?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, he went upstairs." I said, "No, I saw him go out the door." He saw somebody standing at the landing there, and there was nobody up there. We would close down like Saturday nights at 1 o'clock. Well, by the time we get everything done, it's 2:30 in the morning, and we're going over what we're going to do the next day. You can start hearing people walk downstairs.
Wow.
While the music is off. You turn the music on, everything gets quiet again.
Yeah.
And music's always low because we just be playing it off our phone. So we came to the conclusion that whatever entity is up there likes music. Seems to like women because it never bothers anybody. What do women say? I've had a couple of, call them mediums, that have come in and they feel things. I've had 4 different ones come in that don't know each other, and they all told me the same thing. They feel a presence at the stage.
Wow, okay.
All 4 of them have told me that. I will tell you this happened to me. My first wife, we're good friends. We got married too young. No need to go into that. Anyhow, her and her husband were up here, and he's a contractor. We were at the stage, and he was getting me some oil to put on the stage. This trash can was sitting right here. Okay. Just like it is. We watched that lid shut. Wow. And that lid come open. And I want to show you that, and the front door was shut. Okay. So for this lid to do that, something had to come all the way up here and do that. And it was not the wind. And if the wind was blowing, how did the wind do that? It can't go both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if the wind was blowing, it'd be blowing like this. Yeah.
And my ex-wife immediately exited the building.
Oh, wow.
So she's a good Catholic girl.
Oh, geez.
Anyhow, that was my experience there. I've had a couple of people come in and say when they get close to the stairway that they feel something. Okay. One girl kept telling me she felt sad, and then a couple of weeks later she came back and she said, "I feel happy now, so something happened." Yeah. So I don't know what that was because I'm not into that. All of this has happened within the past couple of months. Okay. So we've been working about 2.5 years. We've been open about a year. Okay. So everything's fairly recent. Now, we'll tell you right next door, it's called the Silver Barn now. Back when I was a kid, that was a pharmacy. Okay. Right behind here, way back when, was a funeral home. Oh, wow. Okay. The Hound Song Brewery right next door was a car dealership, but before that, it was a train station that when all the guys from here were going to World War II, that's where they all loaded up and went to World War II.
Wow. And I felt energy next door.
Yeah, there's a lot there. It really is.
While y'all were renovating, or while this place was being renovated, did it stir up any activity?
Yes. We would find stuff moved around a lot. Stuff wouldn't work. You know, saws and stuff like that wouldn't work sometimes. Things that you put someplace. I mean, I know I left it there. Matter of fact, I would go home and I'd come back because I had a notebook and I forgot it, I need to go to the lumberyard. I'd come back, notebook wasn't here. Wow. Notebook would be upstairs. And I had not been upstairs because I didn't have an office made yet. So little things like that.
Oh, wow.
That old picture of a lady there, we found that in here. I know who she is. Her name was Louise Unnemeyer. Everybody called her Red. And I'll tell you a story about her. She was a very flamboyant woman. And she had the first set of bought boobs in Colorado County. I was probably 8 years old, and she said, if I'm paying that much money, I'm showing them. So I got to see my first set of boobs from her. So when I found that picture, there's a light on there, we show it. A lot of the old guys that knew her, when they come in and they see the light on, they tip their hat to her because, I don't know why her picture was in here. She had nothing to do with this building at all. But her picture was in here.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
And this was back in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
You know, this.
Yeah.
No.
That's what he was saying. She was the first one.
Yeah.
Not that far, but
Oh yeah.
still, boy, just the chances you running into somebody that had them.
I know, I was a lucky kid.
Yeah. Like literally to see your first picture.
I know, right?
Going across the stage, I haven't. Other people have told me that they can hear and they can't make out what they're saying, but it's somebody walking across the stage, more than one person. Carrying on a conversation. I have heard when I'm upstairs in my office, because that is part of the old building, but everything's new up there, I hear somebody whispering, and then I can hear somebody going down the old stairs. That was something else I didn't tell you. When this was segregated, naturally we're in the south. So upstairs, about where my office is up there, or right underneath that cow head, was where the blacks sat. And there was another set of stairs at the back side where when they would go up, they pulled up the stairs. And so they were more or less trapped up there, but it was to keep anybody from going up there without paying. I did a bunch of research. I'd always heard that when they had the fire, there was a guy that got burned up there.
Oh, wow.
Okay. We don't know if he had a heart attack and died, if he was smoking, fell asleep and caused the fire. I've looked for newspaper articles. I've talked to people that were around. Nobody seems to remember any details, but everybody kind of knows parts of that story.
Okay.
So, yes. Well, I don't know. I can't answer that.
Is it even a fact that somebody died in a fire here?
Some guy. It's an urban legend, or
it's an urban legend because I couldn't find. I even checked old police records.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything.
Right.
Now, back in the 50s, there weren't very good records here, so it was sketchy. And of course, this is 2024, and everybody's dying on it.
Yeah, I'm saying the 50s also, if it had been a black man, you might not have heard about it.
It may not have been
Well,
worth
that's the other thing.
the time.
And there's a good chance they might have had a black man working up there. I don't even know who was running the theater at that time. But that would have made sense for him to be, because that was the black section up there. That would have made sense. Same time that the chicken ranch was going on.
Okay.
And I happened to get a mirror out of that brothel. And I've got it upstairs, I got it covered. I've never hung it up yet, but I had somebody tell me that a lot of things can happen with mirrors to keep it covered right now. So I did. So it's upstairs if y'all want to do something with it.
Yeah.
The reason I keep it covered so when I turn the light on, it don't reflect up and blind me.
Yeah.
Because I got it on the floor right now. And then we have Chief Dirty Ass of the No Wipe 'Em tribe there. I've had him for a long time.
Oh, cool.
And
Chief, what'd you call him?
Chief Dirty Ass.
Chief
Wipe 'Em
Dirty
tribe.
Ass. Man, what a cool destination the Old 300 Saloon is in Columbus, Texas. This place isn't just your average small town bar. It's a day trip destination where history and hauntings go hand in hand. It's a piece of Texas history layered with decades of stories, legends, and yes, a few ghostly encounters. This place has some serious character. Whether you're a history buff, a ghost hunter, or just love checking out unique small town hidden gems, the Old 300 Saloon absolutely deserves a spot on your day trip bucket list. Go for the drinks, stay for the stories, and maybe, just maybe, you'll leave with a ghost story of your own. Hey guys, future editing me. And unfortunately, as shown at the very beginning of the video, the old 300 Saloon is no longer. And we still wanted to make this episode, and we still wanted to extend our thanks to Ronnie Daly for allowing us to go and visit your building, and extra special thanks to Benny Zychek for taking the time to show us around and tell us the stories, and also for the inspiration, you know, for confirming that skepticism should be the default position for any true investigator. We had such a blast. Even though the old 300 Saloon is no longer, it is now a venue that you can rent out. It's called the Middleton Hall, and I will provide their information down below. And right here, here's the website. You can rent this place out for weddings, for birthday parties, for quinceañeras, for wedding receptions, for business meetings. What a cool location. Just for your consideration for your future events. Who knows? Maybe sometime in the future we can show up with our working cameras and reinvestigate now that
We fixed the glitch.
And no, this is not a paid advertisement. We're just doing our small part to keep history alive, one ghost story at a time. Thank you guys for coming along with us on this paranormal day trip, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
It just
Like
means that we
in
have to
police work,
a little
when you're an
critical
investigator
thinking.
in police work, the first thing they teach you is you prove him innocent. If you can't prove him innocent, he's guilty.
Absolutely.
And that's how you do it.